So today I'm going to be talking about the one thing, can you actually wait 3 months longer to reach that big goal? That's the big question. It's hard. It is really hard. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about taking action. The way I see it, there are two elements to taking action and motivating yourself to do something about a goal that you have. And the first one of that is the actual inner motivation and the mindset, the reason that you want to do something. And that is more in the lines of strategic thinking. The other part is to actually get up and do something, beating procrastination, and that is more of a tactical thinking. And of course, strategy is always more important than tactical thinking. So today, I'm going to be talking about the one thing that will hopefully help you to finally find that inner motivation to take action. Let's talk about why we do what we do in life, just for a second. There are some things that we do because we have to, and there are some things that we do because we want to. And sometimes we struggle to find motivation for both of these type of things. The things that we have to do are, work-related things, or if you're a student, probably studying and all of those stuff that you simply have to do because you're going to either earn money from it and, afford a living, or you have to pass exams to be able to get into the school that you want. So these are the things that are musts, and most of the time the inner motivation is not there because, we don't want to do those things. But thankfully, in these situations, there is something called the external motivation, which is most of the time, the deadline of a project or the exam date. And if you don't do something, if you don't take action until that point, the results are huge, so you absolutely have to, but it's not coming from inside. It's mostly coming from, external situations. And that type of motivation is usually not that sustainable because the pressing matter, the deadline, the exam is no longer going to be there afterwards. So this is not what we're talking about today. The second type of things that we do in life are the things that we want to do, and they are usually related to our goals. The things that we think will be happier and more successful if we reach them. So it's clear that we want these end results, these goals realizing in our lives. But when it comes to actually taking little actions, we just can't find that inner motivation sometimes, even though we want it. Because, we don't want to do it now. It's easier to chill, so we can do it later, right? But you and me both are not here to pick the easy option. We're here to be more successful. So how do we find that inner motivation? That one thing, I think, will change the whole game if you're struggling with finding that motivation to take action. And that is actually to make the connection between today's action and tomorrow's goal. I know that it might be sounding really simple to you right now, and you might be like, yeah, obviously. Let me explain myself. Let's give an example of losing weight because, that's the easiest example to give. You want to lose weight and you gotta work out today for 20 minutes. If you cannot make the very, very clear connection between today's 20-minute workout to that dream body 2 years from now, it's gonna be really hard to find that inner motivation, right? Because today's 20 minutes is such a small thing. In the grand scheme of things, it's such an insignificant action, and it's so hard most of the time to make that connection to something that is so far away in terms of the timeline. It's really hard to actually grasp how big of a role those little things play in that big picture goal in the future. But all of those big goals, those massively successful moments are always an end result of those tiny little actions combined together. It's like that always. There is no exception to that. And we've all lived through this, especially while we were studying, right? We were thinking most of the time, I was definitely thinking that, when will I ever use this mathematical equation in my life? And it was really hard for me to sit down and study and learn that equation because I wasn't able to make the connection of knowing that thing might give me one more correct answer in my SATs, that might help me get into the dream college, that might help me get my dream job, that might help me get my dream lifestyle in the end. You see where I'm going with this? It's like maybe 5, maybe 10 years in between that little action and that end goal. And that's why we're struggling most of the time to connect these dots. We as human beings are really able to visualize these kind of things, but when it actually comes to our own lives, it's hard. It is really hard. And once you can make that connection, why I'm doing this right now is to actually go to that end goal tomorrow, something shifts. And I'm not saying that this will happen immediately or this will happen with every single little action that is connected to a big goal, because like I said, it's hard to make that connection. But once you make it, it's so easy to find that inner reason, that inner motivation. So the solution is to actually ask yourself, why am I really doing this? Why is it that I'm gonna, work out for 20 minutes? Why am I learning this equation? Why am I, whatever it is that you're working towards? Why exactly was that? What was the goal? And what is the role of this one little thing in that big goal? If you can answer that why, great, that's easy. But if you can't, here's more. A why is never, oh, it will be good, I would be happy, it will be good for me. It's never like that, because it's not clear enough. It's not resonating enough with our hearts and our brains. So a goal should actually create this vision in your mind, right? If you can't make that clear why in your mind, it might be because that your goal isn't your goal anymore. You gotta dig deeper in that why. If you can't understand why it is that you're doing it, what type of value it's gonna give today, what type of need it's gonna feed today, if you can't understand that, if you can't really say it like this, maybe it's better to drop the goal completely and understand what the values are right now in your life, what the needs are, and try to make a new goal aligned with that. But if you can answer it immediately, if you know your why, if you know exactly what it's gonna feed in your soul, then there is the second part of things, or rather the second question to ask yourself. What will happen if I don't do this little thing, if I don't take this action right now? Will it postpone your goal by one day maybe? And if you don't take the action, if you procrastinate on it 10 times a month, will it postpone your goal 10 days? And if you do it like that, in a year, you'll be postponing your goal by 3 months. Can you actually wait 3 months longer to reach that big goal? That's the big question. How badly do you want it? And how badly do you want it to happen as soon as possible? And if you took that little action today and it happened as soon as possible, how would you feel then? Just making that little connection between today and tomorrow, just understanding the intention behind that action and behind that goal is the one thing that helped me so much when it came to finding my inner motivation. I'm now a very motivated person. I'm high in energy with the things that I'm doing because I actually know why I'm doing these things. And don't get me wrong, I don't love all the things that I do. Clearly not. None of us do. But at least knowing what it will serve in the end and the happiness that I will have, the success I will have, the fulfillment that I will have when that thing happens is the reason I'm actually pushing and taking action most of the time. And that is how we should think about the strategy behind finding inner motivation. If you want to know a little bit more about tactical information, like how to beat procrastination, what you can do today, what you can do just before you're, starting or just when you're procrastinating, then I would strongly recommend you to watch this video. And if you're new here, please make sure that you're subscribed and turn that bell notification on, because then you'll know when I upload a new video and you'll support me on my journey to spread planning and success and happiness and a good life. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.